thought we knew where we wanted to go, but 8 years ago, we were still on the tail end of overcrowding. We were still coming down with overcrowded day rooms, lack of services, packed education spaces and packed yard spaces to where all you're doing is just trying to get through the day.
Our gyms here at the institution were actually made into dorms, and on our level 3 side, it was very dangerous. There was staff that got assaulted in there pretty bad.
We were warehousing people and we were just putting them in spaces. Today, that's not the case. People live in places that are secured, the staffing levels are there in place. It's a safer, much safer environment for our staff and our inmates.
When the population was on the decrease, the emphasis on programming, but in the sense of actually doing something that was consistent with what the current society demanded or the current industry demanded, and to get away from older programs that the inmates had a hard time getting jobs in.
Believe it or not, a lot of people in prison really don't like where they are, not necessarily in prison, but where they are in their life. And they want different. And these groups and these programs help people look inside themselves and figure out what to do, or figure out where they went astray and how to get back on track.
I am 4 classes away from 2 degrees, one in social behavioral sciences and one in business. It's been really nice to actually focus on something to where one day when I do get out, I'll have something to build off of so I can actually, become a productive member of society.
Prop 57 not only brought enhancing of the credits and credit earning, but what I also find is as I tour the prisons now, and I tour quite a bit, and as I talk to inmates and I ask them that very question, what has changed since Prop 57? What has changed since Prop 47? And the common theme is there's more hope.
Going to level 4, there was not much hope because as a lifer, you're pretty much going to die in prison. When there's no hope, there's no reason for anybody to want to change. Being able to see that people are being given a second chance, that's huge, and I've seen the change in attitude the past 5 years.
The inmates are definitely taking advantage of it for the most part. A lot of them are very excited about the number of programs we have. They're taking advantage of it. They see a lot of the lifers going home, so it gives them more hope.
We are living in a unique time, and I tell people this all the time. We're living in a change, and we can be a part of it.
We now could dedicate space strictly for education, or we could dedicate space strictly for mental health, or we could dedicate space strictly for medical or dental, to where staff that get hired to do a certain function, they have the proper space to conduct the services that they get hired to do, which in turn, the inmate receives a better product, receives better service. And the hope is if that they receive better service and a better product, that they're able to use them when they do leave.
Well, I'm a counselor. I work for a methadone clinic, which is a drug and alcohol program. I'm also in college. I'm also finishing up my Bible seminary school, which I started in prison. This is something that I want to do to give back. The more I know, the more I experience, the more I'm able to help other people that was once where I was at.
I am so blessed to be where I'm at right now. In fact, when I do self-disclose to some of my patients that I see, I tell them, hey, I shouldn't be having this conversation right now. Technically, I should be waiting another hearing or 2. But I've been so blessed to be fortunate to be given my parole date on my very first hearing. And I believe people like myself, we have a responsibility as well. I'm an ex-lifer. Every decision I make out here not only affects me, my family, but it's going to affect every man and woman that's sitting in there waiting for a date.
Well, we have enhanced our office employee wellness to have the staff recognize some of the signs and symptoms of wear and tear on the psyche, on the body, and how they can take care of themselves.
One of the things that Employee Health and Wellness is really committed to is to try to reduce that stigma in regards to asking for help or the machoism of the culture, and really educating people about well-being and wellness as a whole, because that's not just physical health or mental health, it's the entire person. And if their well-being and wellness as a whole is taken care of, then that can allow them to not only do their job better, but allow them to be a better husband or wife or mother or father or sibling to the other individuals in their life, and really look at the person as a whole is what's been really important and a shift for us.
One of the newer ones that's been amazing is the chaplaincy. The law enforcement chaplain, has been added to peer support. So anytime we have any incidents, or even if we don't, and we just want to have some chaplains kind of walk around and talk with staff, they come out. We actually have a gym now, and then the courses that they're teaching in the in-service training program about, staff suicide, and then just stress resiliency. We never had that before.
I think the emphasis of redemption is possible. That's what the governor's brought. And that if the staff can facilitate some of that redemption and have them understand that we are here to facilitate a service of rehabilitation and caring for individuals, but that also translates into public safety, that the person goes out and successfully transitions back into their societies and their families, then that's a success.
We're much more innovative today than we were several years ago. It's a multifaceted approach that we have to continue on, and that there has to be the political will. You have to have the leadership from the department. You have to empower the people who are on the ground and get their buy-in. And from what I see here at this institution, at San Quentin State Prison, you have all that. As long as all of those facets remain in place, I don't think you'll see greater outcomes than what we already have.
The governor's allowed us to think creatively, think differently, and has demanded that we look beyond what our norms are, getting down to the issues, and don't let bureaucracy get in the way. We need to communicate with our other state agency partners, break down those silos because the resources are there, and that expectation has been set, and my desire is that we continue because we can only get better.